Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands! In this video we are playing Warhammer 40k in a 500 points match that sees Astra Militarum with the new Codex versus Tyranids. I'm Simone and I will play the Astra.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will play the Tyranids. Before we started, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you're not subscribed yet and want to help us, join our growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
Today's mission is Outriders. The two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 4 objectives and they are arranged in this way. As secondary objectives, Astra have chosen Slay the Warlord, First Strike and Abort the Witch, while the Tyranids have Slay the Warlord, Attrition and Engage on all fronts. Both armies start with 3 command points.
Let's move on to the description of the armies. Before starting the invasion of planet Hesperia, the Tyranid fleet needs further refinements. A small planet rich in organic matter was found not far from the fleet, and a detachment was immediately sent to explore the area. My Tyranids are part of the Hades Hive fleet, which I created for this battle. In this game, my monsters have the ability Objective Secure, and enemy units cannot fire Overwatch when any of my units declare a charge. The leader is a Hive Tyrant equipped with monstrous Sudden Talons, Bone Sword and Lash Whip. He knows 2 psychic powers from the Hive Mind discipline in addition to Smite that he knows as a base power. For this game, I chose Onslaught and Neuroparasite. As a general trait, I chose Heightened Senses, giving the Tyrant the ability to start first every fight and reroll all the hit rolls. As a relic, I chose the Moclos of Tyrax, which gives an additional attack to the bearer, the possibility to reroll all the wound rolls, and adds an additional attack for every unit eliminated in melee. Next we have the Moloch, a big boy who likes to eat things and has an impressive number of attacks. He's perfect to eliminate the infantry squads. As a base unit, I have Tyranid Warriors. One is equipped with a Barbed Strangler, one with a Heavy Venom Cannon, and the last one with that Spitter, and all have Sighting Talons. Last but not least, we have the Parasite of Mortrax. Like the Moloch, he's perfect for eliminating the infantry squads and holding objectives.
As important as the Necron threat to the planet Hesperia is, it has become clear to the Imperial Governor that the greatest danger comes from the Tyranids, heading in their direction. The first detachments of the alien fleet have arrived on the planet in small groups, but the main group is still en route. Claudio and his army have been reassigned, and their task is to meet the Tyranids halfway on the planet Vurèus and try to slow down their advance as much as possible, and at any cost. A task so important that they decided to supply the army with new heavy weapons, previously deployed in defense of the governor's city. You know the general of the army, Claudio. He has become a tank commander. His Limaras is armed with a battle cannon, 2 heavy bolters and a last cannon. As general trait, Claudio has lead by example, which allows him to use his orders on his own unit, even though he normally couldn't. As a relic, he has Gatekeeper, an upgrade to his battle cannon. As troops, the army is made up of 3 infantry squads. The first is the 005, also called Gunther's Rats, armed with 2 Meltaguns. The second unit is the 609, also called the Diehards. They have 2 plasma guns. The third and final unit is the 362, and it's the squad whose name has been chosen by our community, the Silver Hounds. They are equipped with a plasma gun and a meltagun. All 3 units have the Boxcaster and the drum-fed autogun for the Sergeant. Finally, we have a new unit for the army, the Field Ordnance Battery. The unit consists of 2 pieces, a heavy las cannon and a bombast field gun. This time I think I have enough heavy weapons with me to deal with the Tyranids. Claudio has an unfinished business with them. Let's see how the Astra will behave on the battlefield after the new Codex release.
Since my units are not that strong from range, I tried to deploy them so that I could get into close combat as quickly as possible. The Moloch is deployed underground and will only enter battle in the second turn. The Hive Tyrant is positioned on the lower edge of the deployment zone, ready to control the objective in front of him and eliminate the squads that will try to get closer. Then I deployed the warriors in cover on objective 2, together with the Parasite of Mortrax, which with its 16 inches of movement can easily reach any part of the battlefield in an instant.
Being able to deploy at opposite corners of the battlefield ensures me a good first round of fire, but my challenge is to deploy units in the most advantageous positions and with the most open line of sight, to make it difficult to advance to the Tyranids. The Limaras is deployed in the center, overlooking the entire battlefield, protected by the 609 squad. The 2 artillery batteries are side by side behind the column of smoke. The other 2 infantry squads, the 005 and the Silver Hounds, are on the right flank ready to advance towards Objective 3.
Rolling for initiative. Red dice for Tyranids and grey dice for Astra.
A 5 is great.
A1 is not. The initiative is yours.
In my command phase, Claudio uses his ability Voice of Command, and being tank commander he can use mechanized orders, and chooses Gunner's Kill on Sight for his Limaras, thanks to his general trait. When his unit makes a ranged attack, he can reroll hits of 1. In the movement phase, the first to move are the diehards, and they reach objective 1 without problems. Claudio moves his tank forward to have a better view of the enemies. The counter threats move towards the center of the battlefield, trying to distance themselves from the other unit to avoid being charged by the tyrant. The Silver Hounds realize they are too exposed in that position and decide to back off a bit. The 609 squad opens the shooting phase by targeting the tyrant in the middle of the battlefield. Let's start with the 7 last guns at 4+. The Astra has the ability to automatically hit on 6s, and Cadian squads score an additional hit for every 6 they roll to hit, so that's 2 automatic wounds made and 4 successful hits. They wound at 6 for the toughness 8. 1 wound, that adds up to the previous 2 automatic wounds, so 3 in total.
No penetration, so saving with 2+. All 3 saved!
There are now 2 plasma guns that hit at 4+. Wow, okay, luckily I hadn't overcharged the shots. The Sergeant has no sight of the Tyrant, so we go straight to the next unit. It's time for Ordnance Batteries. It's the first time I can use these new models, I'm very curious. We start with a Bombast Field Gun, targeting the warriors by having full line of sight on them. That's D6 shots. 3 shots at 4+. 2, nice. With Strength 7 and Toughness 5, they wounded 3. 1 wound.
5+ to save. 4, not close enough. 2 wounds through.
The Heavy Las Cannon fires on the warriors too, with 2 shots at 4+. I use a command point to reroll the failed dice. 2 again, a classic. With Strength 10, it needs only 2+ to wound. Here it is, 2.
This attack has too much penetration, so I can't save it. And since the warriors only have 3 wounds each, there's no need to roll for wounds, since one of the warriors dies automatically.
Claudio orders his Limaras to fire all its weapons on the warriors, to try to make the first blood. He fires the last cannon first, making 1 shot at 4+. Luckily, thanks to Claudio's order, the Limaras can reroll the ones. Perfect! With Strength 9, it wounds at 3+. Wounded.
Again, too much penetration, so I can't save it.
D6 wounds. Come on, make a good dice roll. 3! Another warrior is dead. The 2 heavy bolters make 6 shots at 4+. I reroll the 1 thanks to the order. Another 1, of course. The 6 wounds automatically, so I roll 2 dice to wound at 4+. Okay, 3 total wounds.
Saving with 3+ thanks to the cover this time. Just 1 wound through.
Limaras Battle Cannon, which is upgraded from the Relic, D3 plus 6 shots. 2, so 8 shots total. Since the weapon is from the turret, it hits at 3+. 3 automatic wounds, plus 4 more dice that wound at 3+. 6 wounds total, not bad.
Okay, he needs 6 6s to save. Just 1 6 means that also the last warrior is dead. First unit to leave the battlefield.
Having eliminated a whole unit in the first round, I gain 5 victory points thanks to the secondary objective First Strike. A good start!
Well, I don't think there's much to do in this round. The Parasite will hack the objective and hide as well as he can from Simone's tank. In this turn, thanks to the Moloch's ability Terror from the Deep, I can place a marker anywhere in the battlefield. In the next turn, every unit within 6 inches of the marker suffers mortal wounds, and then I can deploy my Moloch within 12 inches of the marker. I decide to place the marker here, since it's the only point where every enemy unit is within range of it. In the movement phase, the Tyrant goes 9 inches forward and takes control of Objective 3, while the Parasite of Mortrex goes to hack the Smoke Cloud. In the Psychic phase, my Tyrant tries to manifest Neuroparasite on the Masked Infantry squad. He needs a 7 to succeed. 8! I roll a dice for every model in the unit, and for every roll higher than the model's toughness, the unit suffers 1 mortal wound, for a maximum of 6 wounds. So, rolling 10 dice at 4+. 6 mortal wounds total!
6 Cadians are unable to resist the pain that afflicts their mind, and collapse on the ground with their brains reduced to pulp.
And now, smite on the closest unit, which is the 005. I need 5 to succeed. 1 is not good. Rerolling with a command point. 5! Rolling D3 wounds. 3 mortal wounds.
Gunther's threats are good at getting out of the worst situations, but against psychic powers, they are powerless. 3 dead. My squads that have taken casualties must take a morale test, starting with the squad 362 who has lost 6 men and needs a 1 to pass it. As I imagined, another soldier escapes. Combat attrition test, being under half strength, for every 1 or 2 I lose another model. Okay, they are brave. The Silver Hounds remain with 3 soldiers. Gunther's rats need a 4 or less instead. Gunther begins to threaten his men and no one dares to run away. The first round went exactly as I'd hoped. Thanks to the large volume of fire at my disposal, I immediately took out the warriors, and thanks to this I earned my first victory points. Also, having lost no units, I gain an additional 3 victory points, reaching 8. The next turn will be important because Andrea will release the Moloch, probably in the rear of my army, and it will be a big problem. It could devastate my units. I have to make the most of my second round of shooting.
Losing the warriors in the first turn was not fun, and now I find myself with 2 less units because I can't move the parasite or he dies from the tank. I have to resist Simone's next shooting phase. Then, once the Moloch enters the battlefield, I can finally start playing as I wanted.
At the beginning of the second round, I gained 10 victory points for controlling objective 1 and 4, reaching 18. In the command phase, Claudio again gives the order Gunner skill on sight to his unit to reroll hit rolls of 1. The Silver Hounds move forward towards objective 3, or towards death, I don't know. Gunther's rats do the same, to try and block the Tyrant's way and prevent it from reaching my artillery. The Dryards move away from where the Moloch will come out and approach objective 1. Claudio moves just outside the marker's range of the Moloch. In the shooting phase, Gunther's rats fire first and target the ugly tyrant in front of them. I use the stratagem Ingrained Precision for a command point. Models in this unit automatically wound at 5+. Then, being at short range, last guns double their shots. 8 shots at 4+. This stratagem was useful. 5 automatic wounds plus a successful normal hit. Having made 3 6s, 3 more additional shots hit, so that's 4 dice to wound at 6. Not even 1. Only the 5 wounds.
Saving 5 dice at 2+. Rerolling the dice in a balance. 1 wound through.
Let's try the new drum-fed autogun of the Sergeant, which is basically a last gun with a rapid fire of 2 instead of 1. 4 shots at 4+. No, the Sergeant has yet to figure out how the new weapon works. 2 meltaguns at 4+. This could hurt the Tyranid. A 5 is an automatic wound.
Saving 1 with 4+ invulnerability. 1. Rerolling with a command point. 4. He's saved. 11 wounds remaining to the Tyrant.
Let's fire the artillery. The Bombas field gun fires at the Tyrant, but it is out of sight of the model. No problem, the Bombas field gun can fire without line of sight, but has a -1 penalty to hit. D6 shots. 2. Not good. 5+ to hit this time. Only 1 hit. 5+ to wound? Nope, missed. The Heavylas cannon, on the other hand, has sight on the Tyrant, so it can fire its 2 shots at 4+. Missing both. I use a command point to reroll 1. Nothing. What a disappointment. The 3 remaining men of the Silver Hounds try to fire on the Tyrant. We start with the Sergeant making 4 shots at 4+. Just 1 hit. 6 to wound? Nope. The Plasma gun is at short range, so it makes 2 shots at 4+. An automatic wound.
4+ invulnerability save. Nope. 1 wound through.
The Meltagun makes a single shot at 4+. Hit. Good. With strength 8 and toughness 8, he wounds at 4. Too bad. Claudio identifies an old friend on the battlefield and decides to turn all the weapons of his Lima Ras against him. The 2 heavy bolters make 6 shots at 4+. Rerolling the ones. 1 auto wound plus 2 successful hits. 5+ to wound. 2 total wounds.
No penetration, so saving with 2+. Easy enough.
The frontal las cannon, 1 hit at 4+. Hit! With strength 9, it wounds at 3+. Alright, wounded.
4+ invulnerability. 5, good job.
Upgrading Lima Ras battle cannon. D3 plus 6 shots. 3! 9 shots at 3+. 4 automatic wounds and 3 normal hits. Great! 3 dice at 3 to wound. Only 1. 5 total wounds.
Ouch! Invulnerability at 4+. You're joking, aren't you? With a total of 12 wounds suffered, the Hive Tyrant is obliterated from the battlefield.
What a blow! Having eliminated the leader, who is also a Psyker, I complete both secondary objectives aboard the Witch and slay the Warlord, earning a total of 11 victory points. Now I have to hope the Moloch doesn't devastate me.
In the second turn, the Moloch enters the battlefield and I place him a little more than 9 inches from the enemy units to allow him to charge. Then, thanks to the ability Terror from the Deep, I roll a dice for every unit within 6 inches of the terror marker, and with 3+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. The artilleries are the only unit in range, so I only roll 1 dice. 3 D3 mortal wounds. 3 wounds.
The vibrations of the ground have damaged the heavy last cannon. These are delicate instruments of war.
And now charge. The Moloch aims to the artilleries and needs 9 to reach them. 9. He's in combat. Combat phase. The Moloch starts the fight with artilleries and uses his ability Distensible Jaws. I roll a dice and with 2-5, the enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. With 6, it suffers 3 mortal wounds instead. Rolling the dice. 3. D3 mortal wounds. 2 wounds. Kinda wasted. Now the additional attack with this Toxin Spike at 3+. 6. Wounding with 3. Wounded. And thanks to the Monastery penetration, Simone can't save the 2 wounds of the Toxin Spike. And now, the 16 attacks of the Moloch's Satin Talons at 3+. Just 8 hit. Wounding with 3. Oh, come on! 3 wounds.
I have to save attacks at 5+. Not even 1, what a pity. My heavy last cannon was already wounded, so it's eliminated, while the Bombas field gun is left with only 3 wounds.
The Moloch consolidates on the artillery, and thanks to the ability Objective Secure, he takes control of Objective 3.
Artillery gunners can strike back and attack the giant monster with their bayonets. That's 3 attacks at 5+. 1 successful attack. It won't be easy to wound, he needs 6. Here it is! Oh please, tell me he can wound it!
Saving with 3+. Of course, A2. 13 wounds left to the Moloch.
Oh my god, you are my new hero! That was awesome! In the moral phase, the artillery must take the test and need 5 or less to pass it. No problem for them. They have witnessed their comrades' great feat. They won't run away. The second round is over and I'm just 1 step away from winning, but it takes very little to make me lose this match. The Moloch is able to eliminate my Lima Ras, and if it were to succeed, I would have nothing left to stop it. I absolutely have to take it down this turn before he can do anything. Come on guys, you can do it.
What can I say? The Moloch failed too many attacks, but at least he managed to reach the objective 4, and if he survives next turn, I could charge the Lima Ras and eliminate it in combat. And this would give me the possibility to win the game. At the moment I only have 5 victory points, but I can easily reach Simone in just a round or 2.
In the command phase, Claudio gives the order to his unit to reroll hit rolls of 1. Then the troops prepare to deal with the Moloch. First to move is the artillery, which moves away from the fight, leaving the Moloch exposed. The Silver Hounds move towards the artillery to try and help. Unfortunately, they are unable to get within sight of the Moloch. The Gunter's Rats also move towards the monster and reach a good position. Claudio guides the Lima Ras away from the infantry squad. Gunter's Rats open fire on the Moloch with las guns. I use a command point for the stratagem Ingrained Precision to make them automatically wound with 5. 8 shots at 4+. 2 shots that wound automatically and 1 normal, plus another additional 1 thanks to the 6. 2 dice at 6 to wound. As expected, just 2 wounds.
No penetration, so saving with 3+. Both saved.
The Sergeant, 4 shots at 4+. 2 shots wound automatically. Perfect. A dice must instead wound at 6. Nope, 2 wounds.
Again, saving with 3+. Both saved again.
The 2 Meltagons, 2 hits at 4+. 1 wounds automatically and the other is a normal hit, great! With strength 8, it wounds at 3. Wounded! With -4 penetration, I can inflict wounds directly. D6 wounds per dice. Come on! Why? Double 1! Just 2 small wounds.
Yes, just 2 wounds. 11 wounds left to the Moloch.
The Diehards take up their last guns and fire a 14-round salvo on the Moloch at 4+. 3 6s means 3 automatic wounds and 3 additional hits, plus 6 normal hits. 9 shots at 6 to wound. Only 1 was successful. 4 wounds total.
Saving 4 dice at 3+. 2 more wounds through.
The Sergeant with the drum-fed autogun, 4 shots at 4+. The sergeants all go to the same shooting range to practice, it's obvious. The 2 plasma guns are in short range and make 4 shots at 4+. 1 automatic wound and 2 hit, 4+ to wound. Nope, just a wound.
Saving with 6 for the -3 penetration. Nope, down to 8 wounds. He's still okay.
The Lima Rasp prepares to fire. Claudio has eliminated the Tyrant and now has to deal with the Moloch. 6 shots of the heavy bolters at 4+. I reroll the 1 thanks to the order. 2 automatic wounds and 2 hit. Heavy bolters have strength 5, so they wounded 5. 1 wounded. That's 3 total wounds.
-1 penetration, so saving with 4+. 1 wound through.
1 last cannon shot at 4+. 6! It wounds directly.
-3 penetration, so saving with 6. That doesn't look like a 6 to me.
D6 wounds for the Moloch. 5! This was heavy. And finally the battle cannon. D3 plus 6 shots. Just 1. 7 shots at 3+. Rerolling the 1 for the order. Better. 4 hit. 3+ to wound. Only 1 wound. Okay.
Please save it. 6 to stay alive. Rerolling with a command point. Nothing to do. Rolling a dice for the ability Death Throws. On a 6, the closest enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. 5. Not even that. The Moloch is removed from the battlefield and the Astra win this game.
This battle was pretty one-sided. I honestly don't think there was anything Andrea could have done differently. The first round initiative won by me allowed me to make the most of the volume of fire at my disposal, and having large models, Andrea was unable to hide the Tyranids from my sight. The new Astra rules are really cool. They have great stratagems, good unit rules, and the vehicles are finally worth their point cost. The field ordnance batteries didn't prove useful in this battle, but it's also true that I made some bad dice rolls with them. We'll see in the next battles if they can be useful or not. Claudio and his army have arrived on the planet Vurèus and are there to stay. The Tyranids will have a tough opponent to face.
Well, I think this game was lost at the initiative roll. Losing the Tyrant in the second round also was quite unpleasant. If he managed to charge the infantry squads, I could have tried to advance with my Parasite, but I had to hold an objective or Simone would have taken 15 base victory points every round. I think that the new Astra is a little bit too strong. The possibility to automatically wound with a hit roll of 6 on every unit is really too much in my opinion. Anyway, the Hate's High Fleet is hungry and can't afford to lose such a feast. The Tyranids will be back with bigger numbers to consume the planet.
And with this we conclude. If you like our content and want to help us grow the channel, we have an account on the platform Buy Me a Coffee where you can support us with donations. Any help you can give us to improve the channel is welcome. We are counting on you. The link is in the description.
And if you have come this far, write the word SPLAT in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys.
See you next video.